of 5? Is this one group? 5 of you in one group. What is the brand you have chosen? Okay. Very quick. Because you have to start applying what we taught. What about you, ma'am? Did you join any group?
No.
You?
No, we have formed a group.
Okay.
Just one session. You will to choosing Indian one branch particularly.
Yes. I will prefer that you contribute to Indian brand. And I could give feedback on Indian brand. That's the preference, you know, because we should help India. That's the whole idea. So, who are the members in your group?
It's me, him, another one is Neha Gupta, and one PhD scholar,
Which one?
Pradeep.
Okay.
Pradeep,
Yeah.
and professor.
So 5 of you. Okay. Who is left? You people have joined any group?
Remaining people will join.
So remaining will become in one group. So that is
I will also join along
with these groups people. So she is joining you. Okay. So we have group now. So most important thing, please think about the brand and let's finalize that brand. Okay. As I said, Indian brand listed in Bombay Stock Exchange. And I told you the reason for Bombay Stock Exchange just because the availability of information in public domain including annual reports. Okay, and I will explain you that how many annual reports you should be looking at. You don't have to pay to see the annual reports. They are available for free. Any public listed company on their website, they are supposed to have the annual report. They are also supposed to have a lot of information. That is what you can grab. Plus there will be news items about them which you can, if you do the Google search, you will get those news items to build this. Is that clear? So that's fantastic. I am very happy. But there were 3 more or 2 or 3 more students in your group. What happened to them? I don't see them. And have they made the group? Professor, your students have made?
Yeah, well, the two.
And they also need to form some group, right?
Yeah, that's
Okay. So we have to see who is left and they can form the group. Okay. Now, so that was my first part. My second question is, on whatever we discussed yesterday, anyone has any questions or you want to clarify anything or you have any comments, any feedback, anything you want me to change? I don't believe in feedback system because that is post-mortem. Once everything is done, I can't correct anything. I believe in feed-forward system. You tell now what you don't like, what you want me to change, so I can do it now. So anybody has any question, let me ask everyone. Any question, comments, doubts, feedback? All okay? You want any change? No? What about it? All good with you? You want me to repeat the word disruption? Happy? No changes? Madam, any suggestion? No changes? Are you sure? Yes, my friend.
Just one question.
Sure.
It's written a professor of marketing.
Yeah.
What is clinical?
Okay, I'll tell you that. I'll tell you that. I know everybody gets curious about it, right? Because the clinical word is associated with the medical practice. Correct? So that's why people get curious. I'll explain. Sir, any questions? Any change? You are a professor. You can help me improve.
It's fine, sir.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Sujit, sure?
I'm just learning.
Yeah, but in the learning process, you want me to make any modification so that you can learn better?
Whatever you told, I thought it would be okay, it's fine. And now I'm just
What about you, Sandeep, right?
Sir.
Or did I forget your name again? Sandeep, okay. Any suggestion?
No, sir.
Any question?
Last time my doubt was clear.
All clear. Fantastic. Neha, I'm asking everyone, any based on what we did yesterday, do you have any questions, comments, feedback, clarification? Do you want me to make any changes in
No,
the
sir, it was a
program?
good session yesterday.
All fine?
Yes.
Excellent. Professor Banerjee, any feedback from you?
Yeah, it's great. I think it's a learning experience for all of us.
So is this the...
Absolutely, absolutely.
So we proceed the same way?
Sure, sure.
Thank you very much. This is the way I run my classes in NYU as well. Every class when I start, I ask my students about the last week. In New York system, we have one subject, one class in a week. But that class is 2.5 hours long. Okay? So one subject, one class in a week and only 14 weeks. That's the system we have in our place. So they come to class for 2.5 hours, but then they get a lot of work for rest of the week to attend the next class. So I ask them the same question. So sometimes they have very good ideas because you people are young. So you have much better brain than me. So they suggest something and then it's easy for me to change that in that session itself because I have that adaptability and flexibility to do that, right? But if we wait for the end, they will give me the feedback, the written feedback, but they have already graduated, finished the course. So they won't get benefit. Future students may get benefit. I want not only future students to get benefit, I want you to get benefit and learn the way you want. Okay? Now coming back to these two questions, first is very easy, the clinical word. There in America, there are 3 types of professors in good universities. Okay? In America, universities have certain levels. So there are what we call Ivy League universities, which are the top tier universities. Used to be 20, now there are about 25, 30 universities in that composition. Those universities, Harvard, Stanford, Princeton, NYU, Columbia, Yale, so these are the leading institutions, right? NYU is one of those. So in these institutions, we have usually 3 types of positions. Then there are tier 2 universities, tier 3 universities, tier 4 universities. So like that, there are different levels of universities. Then we also have colleges. Colleges are called community colleges. So the whole idea of community colleges is that somebody in the community cannot write SAT exam or ACT exam, or depending on what level they are taking admission. That's for undergraduate. For postgraduate, you need to write GMAT. You need to write GMAT for business. For engineering, you need to write GRE, Graduate Record Examination. So even if you are from top university, you have to write these exams. So based on your exam performance, you get admission, exam performance and your GPA. GPA means your percentage, overall percentage in your previous education, whatever you have done. Based on that, you get admission in certain program. But there is a lot of people who are not smart enough, you can use the word smart enough, or did not get enough opportunities to learn the same way like other students. So they do not get score in SAT or ACT or GMAT or GRE, but they also need education. So for them, colleges are started. I think in India, you can compare them with what we call degree colleges. You have heard the concept called degree colleges? So you can compare with degree colleges. So these colleges are called community colleges. Again, within community colleges, there are different categorization. Some community colleges are very good, some are not good, and they are meant for disadvantaged people. We call them socio-economically disadvantaged people. So they don't have to pay fee, and they get money to study. The government, it's a social welfare. So those community colleges, you have different kind of teachers, their salaries are also low. because the college doesn't have much funds. It's run by the state or a community. Sometimes a community runs it, and therefore they don't have too much money to give to the teachers, to faculty, and facilities also not there. But some basic good education, basic education is students. So that's the system. Now coming back to these, the top 30, the elite Ivy League colleges, universities, we call them schools. In US system, it's a university, but because you go to a particular department to study, it's always called school. The habit is school. So I used to, my parents, when they were alive, when my father was alive, my mother is still alive, because they were, I think I shared with you yesterday, the intermediate college 10+2 schools principals. So they used to teach me. They said, तुम्हारा बाप भी स्कूल में पढ़ाता था, तुम भी स्कूल में पढ़ाते हो, तो क्या प्रोग्रेस हुआ? You know what I mean? So they were teaching me that I'm still going, because we will say I need to go to school. So they will say, इतना बुढ़ा हो गया, इतना पैसा खर्च किया तुम्हारे ऊपर पढ़ाने लिखाने में, और अंत में स्कूल में ही पढ़ा रहे हो. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
So that's the kind of teaching they used to do. So that's the school concept. Now, in these schools, certain schools require only research, nothing else, just the research. So for example, Department of Psychology, so or School of Psychology, that's all about research. So there, whatever professors are hired, they are supposed to do, they also teach, but what they teach is also research-based teaching. Even undergraduate students, they learn research, learn psychology by conducting research themselves. So they are just research, they are not called research professors, they are called professors, but the idea is that they will do only research. The second category of people is the people who cannot do research, but they are excellent teachers in their perception and in students' perception. Because many students do not necessarily understand what is the difference between research-informed teaching versus just a teaching. And for them, a communication skill of a teacher makes a good teacher, which is not true. The excellent teacher is one who has done his own research, and he also has, his research has been used in industry. So therefore, his research is practically useful. Those kind of people are the real excellent teachers. They are very expensive teachers, but those are expensive for university. They are called clinical. Why they are called clinical? Because they have both academics, research and industry experience, and more importantly, they practice their research. So that's why clinical. Now you understand something? But there is a third category of teachers who teach but no research and no industry application. So they are called, they are never promoted, so we don't have a different term for them, but internally we call them teaching professors. But they never get promoted, they join as assistant professor and retire as assistant professor. Understand? But others start with, there are three in hierarchy for in academics, American universities is only 3 levels: assistant professor, associate professor and full professor. So from salary and categorization point of view, like in industry you have level 1, level 2, level 3. So we have only 3 levels. But in terms of how the salaries will be decided, the bands will be fixed. That is, if you have research that goes to industry, you are clinical. If you just have a research, you are a professor. All good respect, there is nothing wrong. You create science, It's just that you are not practicing it. Maybe somebody will practice and maybe somebody will never practice. Okay, C.K. Prahlad. Have you heard about a name called C.K. Prahlad? Oh, did I talk?
Yes.
Okay. Right, Professor Saivaswat. C.K. Prahlad, have you heard C.K. Prahlad? C.K. Prahlad is no more alive. He died at a young age of, I think, 63 or 67. I don't remember exactly. But at 63, 67, that's a very young age in America for successful people. So he was very successful professor. Very successful professor. He was at University of Michigan, Ann Arbor campus, which is exceptional because it's a public university. It's not private. In America, private universities are at the top. Public universities are below them. In India, public universities are at the top, private are below them, right? So that's a reverse game. So C.K. Prahlad, C stands for Coimbatore. He was from Coimbatore. So that is why his full name was Coimbatore, and then K I am forgetting. It's a I think some Tamil name. Prahlad is his last name. This guy was known for, do you know what concept he is known for? Because you knew C.K. Prahlad. What is the concept that he is known for? He created one concept through his research for which he became world famous. Anybody knows about C.K. Prahlad's concept? Anyone in the class? No?
Coimbatore Krishna Rao.
Yes, exactly. That was his name. So, what is his concept? Anyone? The theory of competitive advantage. The theory of competitive advantage. So, C.K. Prahlad talked about core competence.
Bottom of the pyramid.
What's that?
Bottom of the pyramid.
Bottom of pyramid is much later. That was just before his death. But more important was for which he became famous was based on theory of competitive advantage, the concept of core competence. So what C.K. Prahlad said that every country, every nation, he started at that level. Every nation has certain competence of doing something which is core for them, and they should focus only on that in order to do well. And examples he gave, Japanese for electronics. So electronic products manufacturing in Japan is their core competence and they should focus on that. He said Germany, core competence is in automobile engineering, and therefore they should focus, their core competence is automobile, so Germany as a country should focus only on automobile. This was his philosophy. You know, every researcher has a philosophy, and remember one thing, as I said yesterday, we do not have to agree with everything, right? It's not necessary, but in US environment, disagreement with your professor, disagreement with your dean, your president, this is all taken with healthy spirit, encouraged, because only with disagreement the newer ideas will emerge, better things will happen. If I keep saying yes sir, yes sir, yes sir and just follow your path, where will the innovation come from? Where will the new ways of doing things will come from? Where will the disruption come from? Disruption is new and effective ways of doing things as compared to traditional things. So if you just follow the same way, how will that new thing is going to come? Two of us have been working on a lot of research. She disagrees with me. I disagree with her. We don't have to follow what I am saying and then we come up with something better, something newer, something more useful. That's the only way to do it. So C.K. Prahlad concept, why I disagree, I'll give you the example. Japan has two core competence, not one. So core means one, but no, like we say core subjects. Do you study one? You study multiple. Similarly, core competencies, it should not be core competence, core competencies. Of course, not every competence will become core, but you may have more than one core competency. So if you look at Japan, there are two important parts in which Japan leads the world. One is electronics for sure. They create some of the best electronics and first in the world. And this is not now, this is from long ago. I don't know if you guys know that old X-ray machines. You guys remember the old X-ray machine? You have to stand and there was a plate that was done like that and cut. Have you seen those X-ray machines? Those old, now you have electronic, computerized. Those X-ray machines, they were made by one small scale company. One small scale company. A startup created by a person who ruled the world for 80 years. Single company made X-ray machines for the whole world. Whole world. 100% market share by one small scale company. And this man I went to this factory and I met this man when he was 97. So when I went and I saw, if you have one small scale company in India, how many staff you will have minimum? 20? 10? 5? Right? You will rarely find that one owner alone can manage all the machines. Right? Here, one single person, that owner used to manufacture all X-ray machines. And these were made to order, not made to stock. So when you receive the order through the channel partners, then he will manufacture that machine and ship it. Of course, there are shipping companies, very advanced industrial system they had, so they will use that system to sell. Somebody will collect from the factory and then do it. One person made X-ray machines for the whole world. Are you guys getting some motivation of doing things differently? So, electronics for sure, they were at the top of the world. The second thing that they do, automobile of a different kind. Whether you talk about motorbike or you talk about cars. Their cars or their automobile, they are not focused on prestige. They are not focused on luxury. They are focused on value for money. Right? Toyota, Honda, Nissan, Mazda. You name the Japanese car manufacturer. Their cars are relatively, as compared to German cars or American cars, they are much cheaper. But they have longer life. And they are easy to maintain. The fuel consumption is low, and therefore after World War II, when Japan was completely devastated, you people know that the nuclear blast was done in Hiroshima and Nagasaki, and the Japan was finished. But after that it bounced back. And today, when you talk about the number of cars, not I'm talking about the value in terms of price of cars, number of cars being sold in the world, largest number of cars sold anywhere in the world is Japanese cars. Anywhere in the world, including in India. If you take the total number of cars sold in India, and then you take out on that the Japanese cars, they are number one. In America, which was known for automobile industry for several years, the Great Recession in in America, there was a great recession where people did not have food to eat. Until then, America was known for automobile industry. Ford was one of the first automobile in the world. Ford, F-O-R-D, Ford. Henry Ford created that car. General Motors created the car. So they were doing very well.
But after World War II, Japanese completely wiped American cars from America. So when I say completely wiped, American car industry, automobile industry made losses and the government has to bail them out. You know the government bailing out? Like UTI, you know UTI? Unit Trust of India. It became law. It was in red and government of India has to bail out. So similarly, sometimes government bails out certain industry to protect their economy. So government of United States has to bail out several times American automobile industry because of this. So now, if we see clearly, there are two core competencies that Japan had. C.K. Prahlad also said that core competency means that if a country has got core competency in something, no other country will have the same competence in that particular, same level of competence in that particular sector. This is another part that we see. Sorry? Yes. But look at Germans. Germans created cars which were considered to be the safest, most engineered cars, pricey, Mercedes, BMW, these are all very expensive, Audi, German cars. Respect, reputation, brand image, all high. So they have that core competence. But at the same time, Germans also have a very strong core competence in chemical and pharmaceutical industry. Some of the most critical chemicals are produced, discovered in Germany. The chemistry that goes into medicines or other important aspects, Germany leads in that. So these are the disagreements that I had with C.K. Prahlad. So, but this concept of core competence that we talk about still had a value, and that's what C.K. Prahlad was very well known. This concept is very relevant to branding. You will see how, and I will explain it to you. That's why I thought. When his core competence concept initially was accepted, so he said nations have core competence, and within nations there is an industry. So like he said, automobile industry. And then he explained, within industry there is a core competence. So automobile industry of Japan has a core competence in creating the value for money, which means their core competence is managing the supply chain, vendor development and management, so they can source the materials at a low cost, process the material at a low cost, and therefore they are able to provide consumers good cars at a lower price as compared to their competitors from other parts of the world, and the quality is so good that they last for several years. You know, a Toyota or Honda car in developed countries are run for at least 5 lakh kilometers without changing engine or anything. 5 lakh kilometers is a lot. So the resale value, you know the resale value of the car? You buy and then you want to sell it. So when you buy, let's say, a Mercedes and you want to sell it after a year, a lot of money is taken out. You get only little money. But when you buy a Honda car or Toyota car, you might have bought at certain price. When you sell to somebody else, you may get same price or very little less. And when somebody buys second-hand car and then they sell it to the next person, they can even make money. I did it many times because now I don't buy Japanese cars, but initially when I was a poor guy, I used to buy Japanese cars. So for example, when I was in India, I bought a car which is called Maruti Steel. Have you heard about Maruti Steel? it may be now like dinosaur, extinct. But those days, the Maruti Steam was the biggest car in India, and Maruti was with Suzuki, right? So they had 800, then they have 1000, then they had Maruti Steam. And the other competitor was Ambassador, that was manufactured by Hindustan Motors near Kolkata. No more, because
Where I used to live.
oh, you
I
live in that area?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know that such a nice factory has to be taken out,
It was.
right? It was a great
But
factory.
now in that factory, Vande Bharat is going to manufacture.
Yes, so Vande Bharat they will manufacture, but that's a different company that is going to do, right? So that was the time. So I started with Japanese car. When I left this country and went to New Zealand, I bought a Honda Odyssey. So I was giving you the example. The price at which I bought the car, when I sold my Maruti Steam in India, I lost only 10,000 rupees after using for 5 years. 5 years. I used that car for 5 years, brand new, I bought, and I lost only 10,000. That means 2,000 rupees per year. Which car will give me so much value? Think about it, right? 10,000 का तो उस समय स्कूटर भी नहीं आता. Scooter, Bajaj scooter was 20,000 something. And if you sell, you won't get 20,000 or maybe 10,000. So when I went to New Zealand, I bought Honda Odyssey. Odyssey is a 7-seater car. It's a very long, wide, big car. But because my kids were small, and New Zealand is a beautiful country to go for hiking and beaches and mountain. So you need a strong car and a car where either two families can go, or the rear side you can fold and you can put a lot of luggage like our bedding, tent, camp, everything. So I bought Honda Odyssey. When I sold my Honda Odyssey after 4 years, I got $5,000 more than the price I paid to buy that car. You know what I'm saying? I'm selling after using 4 years and I'm getting 5,000 more than what I paid for that. This is what is the core competence of Japanese cars, that they have a value that keeps on increasing even after usage, because automobile is something once you buy it depreciates. Correct? It's not gold or it's not housing or land that it will appreciate. The cars, motorbikes, they only depreciate. But Japanese cars, especially when they become older and older and older, they give you more money and they stay for a longer number of years, right? Same thing happened with me in America. The first car that I bought in America was Honda Accord Executive Leather model. That was the highest model. It's called EXL model. Honda Accord EXL model. So that's the car I bought. And after using it for 3.5 years, I sold it. I got $2,000 more than what I paid and used it for 3.5 years in resale. But once I bought an American car in General Motors in New Zealand, and that car when I sold, after 2 years, I lost 50% of the price. So the price at which I bought, when I sold, I got only 50% off. That was about American cars. Nobody wants to buy second-hand American cars, right? So this is core competence within the industry. So every country has an industry, a core competence. That core competence is linked to the industry, and industry has core competence. Then Prahlad went further. He said within industry, different companies have different core components. So for example, let's take an example from India now. Bajaj. Hamara Bajaj. Does it still exist? Okay, but at some point of time, if you remember, Bajaj was the best scooter in this country, right? Bajaj, under not this son, what is the name of the son who is managing now? Because Rahul Bajaj is dead, right? Rahul Bajaj was the earlier owner, and Rahul Bajaj's father started the Bajaj company, who was also freedom fighter. He was sponsoring the freedom movement, you can say, very close to Gandhiji and Nehruji. Like Birla was close to Gandhiji, Nehruji, Bajaj was close, and that's why he started a scooter, and Birlaji started Hindustan Motors. So this Bajaj company under Rahul Bajaj never took a single rupee from the market as a loan. Businesses usually take the loan to run. Rajiv Bajaj, yes, thanks for reminding me. Rahul Bajaj's son Rajiv Bajaj is managing. I think Rahul Bajaj is dead now. I think he died 2 years, if I'm correct. So this, right, is dead. Now here, what was the core competence? Why Bajaj was so successful? Their core competence was not the technology in the scooter. Actually, many people said that they copied the technology. Okay? So it was not the technology. It was nothing. Only one thing that he was doing better than anybody in the country, that was his core competence, called internal financing. Some of you are from finance, right? You are not from finance, you are a marketing person, you are my friend. Marketing people are my friend. You are from finance? Yes, so finance people, you might have heard this term called internal financing. Internal financing means if you want to grow your business, change the plant, change machinery, anything you do not go to the market by IPO, you know IPO, to raise money from market, or you go to the bank to get the loan. What Rahul Bajaj's model was, get the money only from customers. So during my father's time, if you know dowry system, I think people call it gift.
We call it paperly is a pawn.
Pawn, dahel, pawn, dowry, jotu, whatever you call. The tradition was in those days during my father's time that if you have to marry your daughter, you have to give dahej, and if you are marrying a good person means rich or engineer or doctor or something like that. Those days the gift item was scooter, and that too Bajaj scooter. The problem with Bajaj scooter was that if, let's say, my father, I have a sister, so my father, sorry? Welcome. Why open it? So, if when my sister is born, that day, hello professor, we are talking about internal financing, good morning. Internal financing system I am talking about. Sorry for talking about finance in front of you, you are expert. So, when my sister is born, and it's not just my family, every family that was the sister. So the first thing is, you take 500 rupees. Imagine, I am talking about early 70s to mid 70s. If a girl child is born and you want to plan for her, you have to plan for her marriage, because when she will become 20 plus, the girls used to get married as soon as they became 20 plus, 20, 21, 22, 23. At that time, if a girl is 24, she is old for marriage. Many people will not marry. That time. 10th. Sorry? Orthodox mindset, and that's how people used to think. Things have completely changed now. So you take 500 rupees, and 500 rupees in 70s, early 70s was a very big amount. And you go to a Bajaj dealer. You deposit 500 rupees to him for booking a scooter, Bajaj scooter, that you will get after 20 years. The wait time for Bajaj scooter was 20 years. Now you understand what I am saying? Now look at the calculation and the smartness of Rahul Bajaj. First of all, a customer is already acquired. Customer acquisition. From marketing point of view, customer is acquired. Right? And artificial scarcity is created. That means Bajaj scooter must be a great scooter that somebody has to wait for 20 years. Unless you sell a second hand or buy in the black market. You know black market? Black market is also called grey market now. But black market was like you got the scooter, it's brand new, and then you sell it to me by charging extra. So that was called black market. So here multiple things are happening. Number one, the demand for the brand is created, customer is acquired, customer is already acquired, and 500 rupees that Rahul Bajaj has taken, because the dealer collects on behalf of Bajaj. So 500 rupees that you have given in 20 years in advance to Rahul Bajaj. That 500 put interest, those days interest was very high, 14%, 16%. 500 rupees with that kind of interest rate, calculate what will be its value in 20 years. So immediately he got, and this is not one person, this is lakhs of people paying that money. So much money you are getting from the market and you are not paying any interest to the customer. So for manufacturing a scooter, your working capital management, or even for fixed cost, you have acquired the money, this is sales money, and you finance everything that you want to do with that money. That is called internal finance. Is the concept clear to you? So Bajaj's core competence was financial management. Understand? Unilever was called Hindustan Lever Limited those days. It was called Hindustan Lever Limited. Now I think it is called UHL, right? Or HUL, Hindustan Unilever Limited. So those days that Hindustan Lever Limited, their core competence was distribution. Their core competence was distribution. How? Because they created distribution network across the country. You go to even a village in the remotest place in India, not today, I'm talking about 40 years ago. You may not find many things that you want, but that small village shop will have a red color soap. What was the name of that red color soap? Lifebuoy. Who made it? Unilever. The Hindustan Lever Limited. So distribution was their core competence. So C.K. Prahalad said that every company within the industry will have a core competence. And his theory was that if you don't have core competence, then you will never be successful. Core competence is necessity for success. I extended that concept and I said this is not only applicable for industry, it is also for individuals. All of us. My core competence is applying research in everything I do. In my daily life, in my classroom, you see what I am teaching is based on the theory, practical concept, the research-driven concept in practice. Correct? I am giving you all practical examples. But those examples by applying the research. So, in classroom, in my consulting project, in my industry job, at my home, with my friends, everywhere, every discussion is research dominant or research intensive. That's my goal. So same way everyone will have some core competence. Correct? So all of you have to think, all of us, what is my core competence? What is my core competence? And if we focus on development of our core competence and work on that, then we will have an advantage over our competition. That is the area of competitive advantage. Advantage which is making me competitive. Advantage that gives me an edge over my competition. That is called area of competitive advantage. Is the concept clear? Of course, much later, the demand for C.K. Prahlad's core competence theory started declining, because many people were not in agreement with him like me. So, in industry, many people did not agree with him, and therefore, so what he did was, he developed the concept of bottom-up pyramid. And but you know meaning of bottom-up pyramid? So bottom-up pyramid is the population based on socio-economic characteristics. So if you see the pyramid, the pinnacle is very rich people, but very few, right? Filthy rich people, but they are few. And the last part, the bottom part, the base is always, pyramid base is very big. Have you seen pyramid in real life? In real life? No, only on picture, right? I just saw the pyramid 2 weeks back in real life. Giza pyramid, which is the most famous in the world. So physically I saw that to understand that what we see in picture, how does it really look in reality. So the base is huge actually, very big base. So what he said, that on the top you have few consumers, the elite consumers, they have a lot of money, they buy ultra luxury products, but that population is low. So some companies focus on them. For example, if we talk about ultra luxury goods makers, Hermes, Prada, you have heard these names?
Yeah.
Chanel, Dior, now Louis Vuitton. If you talk about these kind of companies, Mercedes, right? These are, sorry, Mercedes is not ultra luxury. The ultra luxury is Rolls Royce. Okay? So, how many people there? Just very few. Correct? But they give you more money because they have more money. So, for some, that business model is okay. Some people are very happy with few people. Right? Then, when you keep coming down, the bottom of pyramid is a huge population. But they have less money. They buy small items. They do not buy the same quantity. They do not buy the same brand. They do not go to the Apollo hospital or whatever is the expensive hospital in this country. Medanta, which is the expensive hospital in West Bengal? Or medical treatment is free in West Bengal? Is Medanta? Which is the Apollo?
Yeah.
Apollo is expensive hospital? Yeah. So that is the top of the pyramid. The bottom of pyramid, what he said was more population, more consumption. Value less but volume more. So he said some companies should focus on that segment which branded companies are not focusing and therefore not making enough money. So for example,
Sachet packets.
yes, the concept of those sachets, let's say Dove shampoo. Dove shampoo is a relatively expensive shampoo. A big bottle, how many people will buy. But if that is brought for 3 rupees, a small sachet, one-time application, people may buy once a week. But look at the base, how many people buy? Millions and millions of people. So the value that you generate is big. This is the concept he brought, that was his last concept, that is called bottom-up pyramid. So there was focus, and that resulted into focusing into African markets. African markets were poor, so you need to create different products. Sachet is one example, but there are many other ways, for example, coming up with lower quality ingredients and different brands for those markets. So that's the concept of bottom-up pyramid. So we can create brands for the top, and we can also create brands for the bottom. Now the problem with this concept, there is another problem with this concept. So C.K. Prahalad came with ideas, but almost all his ideas were disputed, and a lot of people didn't agree. Now let's see what is the problem. The problem is, in human mind, any brand is associated. A brand has certain association. That association is very strong in human mind, very strong. If a brand, let's say, if people think that Dove is a high quality brand, suppose, if this is what people think, it is not the highest quality, but again, it depends on the market. It is good quality in India, but in India also now you have much better quality shampoos, right? And of course, in US, the Dove shampoo is meant for the bottom of pyramid. It's not for the middle class or upper middle class. So let's say that you have created a brand, Dove here in consumer mind as a higher end brand, and then you start coming with the sachets. Okay, the Lux sachet, Clinic Plus sachet, those are okay. People will accept because those who use Dove don't use this. Correct? But imagine if the Dove sachets are in the market, people will start thinking, what's wrong? Has the quality gone down? Why are they selling like that? If you do not position it correctly, there are chances consumers will misunderstand.
Polarity will happen.
Sorry?
Polarity will happen.
Yes. That the brand is no more is no more the respected brand and not meant for you. So people will not buy. So you focus on bottom of pyramid to increase your sale, but you lost your real. And this has happened with many brands. It's happening even today because many brands commit this mistake and they lose the market. You might have heard a brand called Coach, C-O-A-C-H, Coach. Have you heard? It's a high-end brand like Prada, Hermes, we talk about these brands. So Coach is known for higher-end women's leather bag and men's leather wallet and bag. Okay? Expensive items. It was meant for premium class. But a new CEO came who believed in Prahalad's bottom-up pyramid model. He said, okay, let's not go to the bottom, but somewhere in the middle. So create the Coach products and for the middle class. Reduce the price, American middle class is what I'm saying. Reduce the price, come up with different leather bags. The moment the Coach did this, it created a big problem. The problem was the real Coach buyers, the loyal Coach brand buyers, they stopped buying because they found I'm CEO of the company, I'm a lady CEO of the company, and you are my manager or you are my secretary. You also have Coach bag and I also have Coach bag. I might have paid more money and got the higher end, but the logo Coach, what is the difference between me and you? Understand? Why people consume luxury? Luxury is not necessity. It is for hedonic satisfaction. It's not utilitarian satisfaction. It's for the pride, hubris pride. So I want to show off. That's why I want it. But now I cannot show up because my secretary also, my manager also uses the same. So the top people stop buying. The real target segment, the original target segment. And a lot of the new target segment people still do not enter the shop. Why they do not enter the shop? Because they think, oh, it's expensive, let's not go. They will not even enter the shop. How will you know that you can afford it unless you enter the shop? Understand what I am trying to say? So, you did not get the new customers for whom you created product, and you did not, your real customers left. Is it a wise step? So this is the failure that many companies have. Learning from this lesson,
What is the concept called?
which concept?
The which you are done.
The downward stretching of the brand. It's called downward stretching. You know stretching? So it's downward stretching of a brand. So from elite brand, you are trying to make it more accessible to the larger population. So that's called downward stretching of the brand. Some companies learned the lesson from failure of Coach. What they did was, have you heard about another brand called Armani? Have you heard? Armani is higher end brand.
Imperial.
Sorry, which one?
Imperial Armani.
Emporio Armani. Now, the main brand is Emporio Armani. Because the name of the person was Emporio Armani. So the main brand was Emporio Armani. But popularly people will call Armani. It was meant for higher end, pretty higher end brand. But same thing. The new CEO wanted to increase the sales. So he did the downward stretching of the brand. But what he did was he created 3 different brands. Do we have chalk? No chalk? Sujit, I can see the duster, but can you please help me getting a chalk?
Nothing is changed.
Okay.
So it's not
No, it's not here. I see it is not here. Just get some chalk if you can. Okay. So what Emporio Armani did, it created different brand extensions with different names for different segments, and it did not mix them together. So it created 3 brands. So it is still taking
Layers.
the middle class onwards, but 3 different segments. And when I talk about, this high class, middle class and low income group, this is all defined by the government in different countries based on GDP and many other financial factors. So this is not Indian I'm talking, I'm talking about the American and European middle class onwards. So the 3 brands, the original brand which was just sold as Armani was renamed as Emporio Armani. To make it very clear, Emporio Armani. Then in the middle, they created a short form of this brand EA. Emporio means E, A is Armani, and they put a number 7, EA7. Have you seen that?
EA Sports.
So it's a
Sorry, EA Sports actually.
EA Sports is different thing. That's not Emporio Armani. That has a different full name. So EA7 became in the middle, and then the lower part of that was called Armani
Exchange.
Exchange. So they created three, and three different kind of stores. You will not find in Emporio Armani showroom, you will not find Armani Exchange, and in Armani Exchange you will not find Emporio Armani. Understand the difference now? This is little wiser way of doing it. But what happened here? The middle one, consumer got confused. Armani Exchange is doing very well. Emporio Armani is losing the market. It's losing the market because same thing, that Armani Exchange and Emporio Armani, the real users have not accepted it. The original target audience has not accepted it. So the new, but in this case the new segment, the Armani Exchange segment had accepted it. Because it's good quality, very good quality at very reasonable price. So the problem, thank you so much. The problem that we have here is with the E is written like this. Okay, there is no line, EA7. This one has problems because people are not able to relate it with Armani in any way. Though it is short form of Emporio Armani, but people are not used to calling it EA. CK, you people know about a brand called CK? Calvin Klein, right? People are used to calling it CK. I said CK and immediately you people said that, right? But when I was using word EA, our friend immediately said EA is sports. Understand?
Correct.
So here I could not create the association, but here I can create the association immediately. Are you getting this point or not? So this case has failed because no association could be created. There is also another brand you might have heard, Polo, Ralph Lauren. Have you heard about this brand?
Yes.
Now, Ralph is the name of man. His wife was called Lauren. Okay, so husband wife together. And sorry. Good guess. They started making polo shirts first. The first product was polo shirt. The T-shirt that you wear, this is called polo. Yes, I'll come to that. That's a symbol. So but polo is a style of polo is a style of T-shirt. So the T-shirt that you are wearing, it may be any brand, but this style of T-shirt is called polo. Is that clear? So this is called polo. This T-shirt is polo. Not brand. Style. So polo is that style. That's how they started. Of course, they make everything now. Now, what they did, the problem here was, so this is a very expensive brand. Polo, Ralph Lauren is very, very expensive brand. But what happened, they did not register the brand
In the mindset.
carefully. So, a lot of brands similar to this came. For example, have you heard US Polo? And you can buy US Polo for very little price on Amazon. Correct? So, like this, there are several similar brands came. They also have that horse. The horse as a symbol. They have similar kind of thing. It's not exactly the same polo horse, that the Polo Ralph Lauren uses, but something similar they make. And because many people do not understand the difference between these two brands, they buy the US Polo, and US Polo is not made in US. Do you know that? It has nothing to do with US, and it has nothing to do with this brand. Nothing. But the moment US is added, people in the bottom of pyramid countries, they think it is the same. You understand? So it creates confusion. So because of the poor brand registration, which I will explain the importance of that, this brand had trouble. So what they did for revitalization? Now they de-emphasize this and they talk about Ralph Lauren. And to further position it properly, the clothes which are made for women, they are called Lauren, and the ones that are made for men, they are called Ralph Lauren. So men's clothing is called Ralph Lauren and women's products are called Lauren. So this is the way they are trying to disassociate themselves from US Polo, and there are some other polos also, I am forgetting their names, which are all imitated products we can call. Now you see the difference? And this is why US Polo is so cheap and the real Ralph Lauren Polo is so expensive. Same thing was happening with the other brand that I was telling you yesterday. The Hugo Boss was amongst all these brands, the Hugo Boss was much higher brand only for men. So this was men brand and at very top end, top than Armani, very top. But due to, again, not protecting intellectual property correctly, people were, especially in Chinese market, which is a huge market for luxury products, there were counterfeit or imitated products created. So now what they have done, they have created two different brands. One which is called as, actually three, just Hugo, another one that is called just Boss, and the third one which is Hugo and Boss, means Hugo Boss. So they have created three different brands. So this glass that you see here, it doesn't say Hugo, it only says Boss, right? And the original, these three strips, black, white and golden strip, you see there, the strip? This was their original logo. So that they have started attaching with the Boss and the Hugo. And the Hugo Boss that is creating the confusion, they are de-emphasizing them. Right? So these are good examples to tell you what they have been doing. Any questions so far? Is all clear to all of you so far? Okay. So let's look at a little bit more about few things. First we talk about brand equity. When you become, let us say, you are learning this course for taking a brand manager's job or brand professional job. Suppose, okay, you specialize in marketing. Marketing has many types of job and branding is a good job. It's well paid. Once you get good experience, as a consultant you make a lot of money because brands are money. I gave you example yesterday that this glass and your glass cost may not be big difference, but the price is a big difference because just because of the brand. Everything is same. Even material must be similar. And maybe material is also made in China. No, actually this is made in USA. But in most cases it may be made in China. But, or Korea. But the brand is what brings the money. So there is a concept called brand equity. Okay? Every brand professional's job is, or CMO. You know what is CMO? Chief Marketing Officer. It's a position. 15 years ago, it did not exist. People will call National Marketing Manager or something like that. Now, in almost every company, there is Chief Finance Officer, CFO, Chief Marketing Officer, CMO, Chief Technology Officer, CTO, Chief Information Technology Officer, CIO, Chief Human Resource Management Officer, CHRO. So this is called, in our business language, these positions are called C-suite. Have you heard about this term? C-suite? Did you guys learn about C-suite in your classes? So C-suite, as part of the corporate governance, C-suite is the top management in any company. And that C-suite is, it starts with, sorry, that's the wrong thing here. It starts with CEO, C here, right? And then every position which may be parallel are reporting to CEO, because the basic human resource management and organizational behavior principle, one head, one boss. Have you heard about one head, one boss? That in any organization, any employee should have only one direct reporting boss, direct report. So, there, because of that, you may have these people reporting to the CEO, but any position now that had a C word, like CMO, CFO, HRO, CIO, all these, because they have word C, this is called C-suite. Right? Of course, eventually everybody here would like to become the part of C-suite. That should be your dream. Am I right? So everybody has to have reached C-suite. That's the ultimate goal. But to reach that, you work as a brand management. I mean, one of the job in marketing that easily gets here is the brand job. If you are lucky enough to get the responsibility to manage the brand or work for a brand, you are on the faster track to reach it. Okay? The reason I will explain. So the job of that brand manager, so I am just putting here brand manager, and then maybe brand executives. Brand executive, I am putting them here. The reason why they have a faster track to become CMO or get into C-suite is the brand equity. What is equity? Equity, when there is a company, you buy shares, you know, stock market. I think Professor Mike has told you about shares yesterday, stock market, right? So, a company ownership is by the number of shares that you own, or percentage of total shares that you own, right? So, if you take Reliance Group of Industries, there are millions of shares. Do you think all those shares are owned by Mukesh Ambani and his family? No. The majority of shares are owned by Mukesh and his family, right? So, but anybody can have the share. A brand equity means the value of a brand will keep on increasing year by year, and you will get more money, the company will make more money if the brand has a value or worth the equity has several meanings: value, worth, amount. So that is called brand equity. Now, there are different models of brand equity. Several models of brand equity. The most popular model in the world today is customer-based brand equity. Maybe your professor yesterday might have told you accounting-based brand equity or finance-based brand equity, right? But as a brand manager, we work on customer-based brand equity. And I'll explain you what it means and how do we deal with it. The third thing that we will talk is sources of brand equity. So this customer-based brand equity, what are the sources? What are the sources of brand equity? Like the financial equity in a company, what are the sources? Sales revenue, profitability, correct? Those are the sources that create the wealth and therefore the share prices go up, correct? So similarly here, what are the sources of brand equity? They are different and we'll talk about it. And finally we will talk about a concept called brand. Okay, so let's look at this, commonly known as CBBE. Customer based brand equity. So popularly in industry, we have the habit of not using the full terms. In academics we use full terms, but in industry we always use short terms. So in industry it is called CBBE, and some people call it CBBE model, and some people call it CBBE theory. This is developed by, this model, this theory is developed by, anybody knows who developed this? Any guess? A professor, very famous professor called Kevin Lane. Lane means correct. Kevin Lane Keller.
Yes, sir, Kotler and Keller. There is two.
Kotler and Keller, because Kotler is so old, he requested Keller to join as a co-author for his marketing manager.
And killed his marketing manager.
Yes, but actually Kevin Lane Keller is a brand expert. Okay, there are two branding experts which are very well known in the modern times. Actually one is old now, old and outdated. So his daughter has taken over from him because he's very old. So when we were students, we used to learn that theory and that model. So one is called David Acker. So this is one, David Acker. So David Acker has his own branding theory, and his calculation of brand equity was based on 10 parameters. So that model is called BE10, Acker's BE10 model, because it was based on 10 parameters to calculate the brand equity. But remember, as I told you, that this person is too old now, so he is not very active, and he had only one child. Her name is Jennifer Acker. Yes, Jennifer Acker. Do you know Jennifer? Who said Jennifer? Who knows Jennifer? Jennifer Acker is professor of branding at Stanford University. Stanford. You know Stanford? Stanford University, she is professor of marketing. So, she has taken over from her father. These 10 parameters and BE10 model was based on a concept called brand personality. Have you heard the term brand personality? Brand personality. But Jennifer developed in her PhD thesis, she developed brand personality framework through which you can measure the brand personality. So, her father, the concept was that like human beings, we all have personality. And in psychology discipline, there are 5 dimensions of personality. Okay? Personality is made up of 5 dimensions. When we say you have a very good personality, and we say you need to work on your personality, that means we are talking about 5 dimensions. In one of the lecture, I will talk about those dimensions, how to measure, what are the sub-dimensions, how to improve your personality. So he said that everybody has a personality and everybody has perception about their personality. Everybody has their own perception. In my perception, your personality may be excellent, but in your own perception, it may not be excellent. In his perception, you may have a bad personality or a poor personality. In his perception, because remember, everything that we do in this world is all perceptual. Our behavior is based on perception. Even when we say I'm an engineer, I'm a scientist, and I take logical and scientific decisions, no. The decision science itself has proven and said again and again that no decision on the earth is perfectly logical or rational. A logical decision making is not possible at all by human beings as of today.
Yes.
Human mind is not capable of taking logical or rational decisions. Perfect logical and rational decisions. So when somebody says this, it simply shows their ignorance about what is a logical decision making, what is a rational decision making. So this way we have perception about personality. Now my perception about my personality decides, according to David Harker, what brands I will consume, because in our perception brands also have personality. Even products have personality. So I will give you example. You guys know Scooty?
Yes.
What is Scooty's personality? It is meant for whom?
Correct.
That means it's a feminine personality. Is it written anywhere that man cannot drive a Scooty?
No.
It's not written, right? But the Scooty has got a feminine personality.
Every products also.
That's a
Washing
product.
machine.
That's not a brand. That's a product. The brand is, when we had a scooter, the Bajaj scooter has masculine personality. Bajaj brand has masculine personality.
Family oriented.
And Kinetic Honda. Kinetic Honda had feminine personality. Do you remember that time? As a product, motorbike was men's personality, masculine personality, and scooters were feminine personality. So this is the concept that was given by him in 80s. So if any of you can recall the 80s and 90s advertisements and branding in that time, there was a lot of focus on personality-based branding. When this
Washing powder.
no small car was launched, no, not Nano, it was, it's no more in the market. I used to call it Machis, Matiz. You remember, like Santro was launched, Santro from Korean car,
Small
Hyundai,
car.
small car. Same way there was a smaller car than that was called Matiz, something like that. But we used to call it, jokingly we used to call it Machis, because Machis small box, so Matiz. Matiz was marketed as, first, the smallest beautiful thing is coming to the market soon, before launch. They will make some beautiful, slim, small women. And in the picture, and then they will write the smallest beautiful thing is coming to your city. Then they attach the song, Choti Siyasa. Have you heard that song? Sagir? Yes, you got it. That was Matisse, yes, absolutely, Matisse. So, that song, can you sing that song? Choti Siyasa, how was that? Yes, that song. So, they associated that song with this, and the whole idea was to create, she wants that phone, to check the brand. So, that was to launch and create the brand personality. So 80s and 90s, the focus was on associating brands with human-like characteristics. The Harley Davidson motorbike, have you heard about Harley Davidson motorbike?
Yes.
I think it is sold in India now as well. That was very popular motorbike in America amongst gangsters. So Harley Davidson in America was used by, somehow it got an association that it is meant for macho people. Have you heard the term macho? Macho people. And these macho people will be drinking, taking drugs, going on long rides, long hair, hippie culture, that kind of thing. So that is the association the product had. Over a period of time, they realized this is a bad reputation, bad association. So of course they changed the brand image. But what I'm saying, the focus was on that. Now the focus has moved because that is getting weaker. The industry is now focusing on this model, CBBE model, by Kevin Lane Keller. Okay. So this is about that CBBE model that I'm talking about. If you don't have question, I will move to more important discussion. Do you have any questions here?
What is the definition of the brand personality?
What is the definition? This is something I will do in another session, so I'm just holding it there. Yeah, I have a session on explaining you the whole thing, not only definition, even measurement. Okay, so that's why I'm holding it. Now, this slide, do you have any question? Because this is only defining the customer-based brand equity. Basically, the concept of customer-based brand equity is that the brand's worth is based on what customer thinks about it. It is based on the fundamental concept of the brand that I discussed in the last class, that brand exists in consumers' mind. Okay? Professor, can we go up to 11:30 today?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So, the brand exists in consumers' mind. So, therefore, what customer thinks and feel about the brand is what will determine the value of the brand, the worth of the brand. That is called CBB. Now, what are these things here? So, this customer-based brand equity model, there are some brands for calculating the brand equity. Okay? They are the world's #1 method for brand equity, accepted by industry. Okay? I'm not talking about acceptance by professors or researchers, because for industry what matters is what they use. For you, what matters is what industry uses. Correct? So, industry uses the maximum, most popular use, and this is not America, everywhere in the world. They use for brand valuation a model by a company called Interbrand. You see there, Interbrand brand valuation methodology. Okay? Very quickly I will run this video, hoping that the video runs. When you can watch this video again and again and again. How? You have a YouTube link given to you. correct? You can just copy that link and you can watch it. Also, in the next slide, I have repeated that link separately. It's the same, exactly the same thing, but I have repeated the link. Okay? So you have all the access. Now, let's talk about this video. How will you run the video here? Because it's embedded. Oh, then you copy this. Just copy this link and paste it on browser. Yeah, it's coming, but I think it's slow. And put it in full mode, please. Yeah.
At Interbrand, we believe that brands have the power to
Can
change
you hear
the
it?
world. For us, brands are living business assets brought to life across all touchpoints to create identification, differentiation, and value. Value for customers, but also for shareholders. How do we help brands achieve this? We help our clients place their brands at the heart of their businesses, creating and managing brand value. Strong brands drive improved business performance. They do this through their ability to influence customer choice, command a premium for products and services, create passionate customer loyalty. At Interbrand, we look at brand value in both customer and financial terms, measuring the contribution of the brand to business results. We assess 3 key levers of value creation: the brand's financial performance, its influence on customer choice, and the strength of the brand relative to competition. First, we measure the profits generated by the branded products and services. Our financial forecasts form the foundation of our valuation. Role of brand analysis measures the portion of the decision to purchase that is attributable to the brand relative to other factors. Applying role of brand to forecast profits gives us the earnings attributable to the brand alone. Brand strength is a diagnostic tool for measuring brand performance relative to competition. It supports brand management by identifying areas of highest business impact. A stronger brand generates more loyal customers, reducing risk and increasing brand value. Finally, our analysis is combined to arrive at a single measure of the brand's contribution to business results: brand value.
Okay, can you go back to my slide? So, this is just an introduction, little bit introduction about the methodology they use. So they use 3 things, as you can see: tangible and also intangible. But that intangible part, in very scientific manner, is converted into number. That is called brand strength. The formula for brand strength is not shown here, but in one of the classes I will show you. It's a proprietary formula, not available for public, but I have access to it and I will privately share with you guys. Okay, that's why I have not put it in the slides. So I will have that, but I won't be able to put that on the Google Drive. Okay, so I will show you that how exactly that formula is used to calculate brand strength. That brand strength is a number, is a quantitative number considering several factors arriving at that number. So you see 3 things here: role of brand, which is a qualitative factor converted into quantitative, and you have seen the small dimensions that it is talking about.
Usability.
Financial performance, that is the profitability part, and then the brand strength, which is a qualitative parameter consisting of several factors with a formula converted into number. So this is a very scientific method, and that is why this is the method that is used for calculation of branding. Okay, and at the end, okay, so I can move now my cursor. Okay, so I will get back to, as I said, this formula I will share with you privately and explain it to you, because I want you to know what it is, but I'm sorry I can't put it on Google Drive. I hope you are all okay with that. Okay, I can also okay, I'll share something else later. Now, coming to sources of branding. So, what are the sources of branding? How the brand's equity is created, managed, enhanced? Only 2 sources: brand awareness and brand image. So as a brand manager, your job is very easy, dealing with two things. Building brand awareness and building brand image. Looks very easy and simple,
No.
but this itself is a big science. And in rest of the session, this is what you are going to learn. How do I build this? Right? So now, you know the sources of brand equity. So the strength and the role that we are talking in that interbrand model, that is based on this. By the way, there are, as on today, there are 4 popular brand valuation models in the market. Popular. But the most popular is interbrand. The second one is called brand asset evaluator, BAV model. I think I should write it somewhere so it's easy for you to see.
Brand asset evaluator.
Yeah, brand asset evaluator. Brand treated as asset, and then how do you value this asset? So this is called brand BAV model. There is a third model, BAV model. Then third one is called brand Z. Millward Brown Cantor, Professor Millward Brown Cantor developed the model which is called brand G model. And you will notice one thing. All these are developed by professors but used by industry. In India, a lot of people think that what you learn in the classroom is not useful for industry, right? It's not true. What I am telling you is all academic, and it is the same thing that I use in industry to help them grow. And as you know, these are the things that industry is using. So the next is brand G, and the least used and used mainly by Britishers, by UK people, and also by those who believe in British system, like British firms in other part of the world, some Commonwealth countries, they are still influenced by Britishers. For example, Canada, Australia and New Zealand, their Prime Minister reports to the King of United Kingdom. Earlier Queen, now King. And King's representative is called Governor in Canada, in New Zealand and Australia. And the Prime Minister and Governor is elected. Governor is chosen by the King without any election. And Prime Minister is chosen by public. And Prime Minister reports to the Governor or the King via Governor. So in some such countries, this model is used. The last one that I am writing here, it is called brand finance model. Brand finance model. This brand finance model is purely accounting based model, where net present value, I think most of the things that Professor might have taught you yesterday could be based on this accounting principle, where brand is considered in the balance sheet as goodwill. Understand what I am saying? So brand is reported in the balance sheet, and balance sheet is an accounting statement as goodwill. So this is the least used model, most outdated model, but this is the Britishers model. All other models are American models. Okay, interbrand, and they are based in New York. Interbrand, BAV and brand G, they are based in New York. Brand G also has office in London, but headquarters is in New York. New York is the world's capital for marketing. So that's why you see the branding firms, and also financial capital. Dalal Street is Mumbai. Ours is called Wall Street in America, in New York. So these are the models, And these models, when they calculate the brand equity or brand value, they consider these sources. So these are the sources. Now, so as I told you, the job of a brand manager is to make a brand stronger. Correct? Mark CMO's job is to make the brand stronger day by day. What is the meaning of a strong brand? How do we make a strong brand? If you see these two dimensions, these are nothing but they can be given one word, that is called brand knowledge. Right? So, how much people know about your brand? That will tell how many people are aware and what kind of image they have. That is what will lead to brand equity. So the proxy of brand equity is brand knowledge. And brand knowledge consists of two components, brand awareness and brand image. Is this clear or not? Now when we talk about brand knowledge and we talk about brand awareness, we are talking about the awareness related to the strength of the brand or tracking in consumers, basically strength of brands existence in consumers' mind. So you are talking about tracking, okay? That is your brand awareness and you have to try to track it. It offers a step in building brand equity. First step in building brand equity. And it often comes into play when people are calculating brand. So brand awareness is the very first step. Okay. Now, when you see this, what comes to your mind? Don't read this way. Is it misleading? It's not misleading. But what came to your mind is misleading. That is brand awareness.
Color
Yes,
associated.
all this is, you are aware that it's a green color, it is something like that.
Green is associated with this.
With this lady, correct? Now, that's awareness. Then, second part is image. Image, what do you think when this lady comes to your mind, what do you think about? It's good of good brand for mineral water. Mineral water. Okay. Anyone else?
Purity.
Purity. What else? Purity, water, mineral water, good water.
Health.
What else?
Health.
Trust.
You can trust. Okay. You said something?
Health.
Health. Okay. Any other association? No? Okay. Neha, you have the bottle in front of you. Read and tell me where is mineral water written there. What water is this?
Treated water.
Huh?
Treated water.
Treated water. Is treated water a mineral water? But why people have perception?
It mentioned mineral, salt of calcium, magnesium and potassium.
That does not make it mineral. So think about it, that this lady has an image of being a mineral water bottle. Not only your image, many people have that image without actually being a mineral water bottle. Mineral water is different conceptually. It is usually sourced from the natural resources, especially from the mountains, high mountains like Himalayas. The water that comes through those trees, etc., and the stones It gets a lot of minerals on the way, and therefore that water is the purest, cleanest, healthiest, and that's the mineral water. So from Alps of Switzerland, you get the water, that's a mineral water. This is treated drinking water. Bisleri has never ever provided mineral water. But people have the image. Now, this has contributed to big brand equity. Bisleri has the largest brand equity in India amongst the bottled water bottles. Correct? Why? Because of the image. Now remember why I gave this example. Because image is not necessarily
Be true.
truth. Yes. Image is not necessarily true. But is it important or not? It is the most important. Because
Belief system works for that.
correct. Customers always buy based on image. Is the concept clear? Now you know why these are the sources of brand equity? Okay. So if you have to make a brand stronger, you have to strengthen the brand knowledge amongst whom. Important part to remember here is the target audience. Every brand has a target market, right? That target market, is this Bisleri brand of water targeted to the high income group of Indian society like Virat Kohli, Amitabh Bachchan, etc.? Do they drink this water? No. That means it's not targeted to them. It is targeted to masses. It is targeted to masses who want bottled, safe drinking water at a cheaper price. They may not worry to read what is written there. They may not be able to distinguish between a mineral water versus this water in the process of treatment has added certain things which may be harmful to your body. Okay? But you still perceive that this has an image of mineral water. Now you see the importance of target audience. Branding is always related to target audience. Brands are in consumers' mind. It is not necessary that if the brand is for everyone. So this is for masses, but those segment, the ultra high income segment is not masses. The premium segment is not masses. Even if you don't spend the kind of money Virat Kohli spends on his water, there is still a French brand, Evian, which comes from the Alps of Switzerland. And that water I think is 100 rupees or 200 rupees a bottle. How much?
120.
120. That could be the mineral water. Because it used to be, but I don't know
Even
if
there is a brand called Himalaya.
Himalaya. From sourced at 20,000 feet above the sea level, right? That's also more expensive than these ones. So, again, depending on what quality you are getting, there may be different target segment for each of those. So, this is where it became important. All the brand examples that I gave you in the morning, they were all based on that. Okay? Last thing, because now I will hand over the session to Professor Banerjee. I want to talk about the brand value pyramid. Just this is the last slide. The brand value pyramid, or it is also called brand resonance model. There are two different names for this. Some call it brand resonance pyramid, some call it brand value model, some call it brand value pyramid, some people call it brand resonance pyramid. So various names are given to it in industry. Its technical and legal name is brand resonance model. Okay? This is a short video. I need your help. this video. Very short video that will explain you that picture which is here, and then we will break. Yes, full size please, and full volume.
Whispering, sir. Whispering.
Can you hear the voice? No, the laptop voice. The laptop voice is for you. Okay, then go back to my slide. Tomorrow I will bring my speaker. Okay, it's we need a speaker. So I have my speaker. I bring my speaker, and then I will rerun this video. Or when you go back, watch on your phone or watch on your computer this video. But just go back to this slide here. This slide. No. Go next. Yes, hold on, that's it. So this is that pyramid, okay? This is the pyramid, brand resonance pyramid. And they said if you watch the video, you really get much better insights. But just let me show you this part. How the brand is built. That's what it's called, brand resonance pyramid. The concept is like this. You decide to use certain brand if they resonate with you. As I was telling you, you have your own thinking about your personality, perception about yourself. I have my perception about myself, and if my perception matches with my perception of this brand, then we call it resonance. Okay? And that is what will help me accept the brand, that will give me what we call the highest brand equity, because then the knowledge is perfect. So how does it start? At the base, if you see, it's called salience. The very first step is the target audience that you have identified. As I said yesterday, we only worry about target audience. We don't care about non-target audience. If the target audience find your brand to be salient for them, that is the first step. Usually, a large people, when they become aware of the brand, they may find it to be salient. That's why the base is bigger. So at this stage, company is trying to build the identity for itself. The brand is trying to build the identity for itself, and it is telling itself to you, who are you? That means as a brand, who am I? And the idea is to create deep, broad brand awareness. Okay, that's it. The next level, if you see here, is where we develop the meaning in the consumer's mind. So we are telling consumers the meaning. What are we as a brand? Okay? So this is consumer asking, who are you? Here consumer asking, what are you? And you are giving them the answer, you are telling the meaning. The meaning has two components here, you can see. One meaning is from performance point of view. When I asked you what Bisleri is, one person said health. So performance means it's a clean water that will perhaps not cause water-borne diseases. So that is one kind of meaning that you are getting related to performance. The second meaning is in terms of imagery. So you also said, yes, mineral water, green color wrapper, you remember?
Yes.
Those kind of things. So there is an imagery. Associations are caused, and the imagery means something, and a picture gets created in the mind. Even if you don't see it, you have it in your mind. So this is where we establish the points of parity and points of difference that I will discuss tomorrow, okay, which is important for positioning. The third level is where you are saying what about you, that is response. Now that company has put these efforts, now the response from the consumers. Okay? So you created this in consumer's mind. Now the third level is consumer's turn. Company put efforts to build salience, to create meaning in terms of performance and image, awareness, then identity, awareness and then identity. And now there are two levels here. One is consumer's judgment and consumer's feelings. Judgment is it's a good water. You remember somebody said good water? So that is a judgment. Good, bad is a judgment. Right, wrong is a judgment.
Clean.
Clean, unclean is a judgment. Feelings. Feelings are different. Feelings are I love it. You said the taste. I like the taste.
Out of experience we can.
Yes, liking, loving.
What about trust, sir? Trust?
Trust is outcome of both judgment and feeling.
Reflection.
It's a complicated construct that when you do just something good, find it good, and you love it, you like it, then you start trusting. So trust is outcome of the combination. So feelings are important. Just being good, bad, judgment is not important. Feelings is important. That's why with McDonald's, you might have seen a slogan that says, I'm loving it.
Realization.
Right? I'm loving it. Loving it is clearly trying to tell you to develop that feeling of love when you eat it. So, that feelings. So, this is where we talk about positive, accessible reactions. We want positive, accessible reaction. Coca-Cola. Once in a class I conducted, I asked people to write, what do you think about Coca-Cola? So, a lot of people wrote dirty water. That's a negative accessible reaction. We don't want to hear that. Some people wrote refreshing drink. That's a positive accessible emotion. Right? If the drink refreshes you, that's how you see it, that's a positive. That's what Coca-Cola wants you to think. But if somebody says dirty water, unhealthy water, sugared water, those are negative accessible reactions. And the last level, final stage. This is what every brand wants, and this is where you have the peak of the brand equity. This is called resonance. And what you are doing in resonance is the relationship. Relationships are firm, not friendship, relationship. Friendship starts here, resonance. You all are friends, but you are not in relationship. When the relationship happens, when two persons come together and start finding the resonance, resonate with each other. Correct? Then you decide to move ahead to become boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, everything, right? That's what the brand wants. Brand wants to marry you. So this is where you say, what about you and me? Brand and consumer, what about you and me? Can we live together? Can we form a relationship? Can we marry? This is the stage. So here, what you are doing is, when this happens, you will find intense. When the relationship happens, when do people come together and get married or start living together? When the love is intense, right? So intense, active loyalty. Intense, active loyalty is called resonance. Customer now with the brand has intense, active loyalty, is not willing to listen anything negative about it. Right? Everything he will use that. I wear the boss glasses, I wear the boss t-shirts. Okay, I wear the boss pajama. Pajama is the simplest thing. In the night, the brand doesn't matter, right? But I wear boss. So that's called intense brand loyalty. When it comes to the linen, you know, understand, towel, bed sheet, I use DKNY towel. You know DKNY brand? Have you heard DKNY brand? It's a high brand. Its full name is Donna Karen New York brand. Donna and Karen, two ladies come together to create a brand. Donna, D-O-N-N-A, Karen, K-A-R-E-N. In New York, that's N-Y. So that is why it is DKNY. And they created a big international brand. In my house, the carpets are DKNY. All the towels are DKNY. Bed sheets are DKNY. Duvet, what do you call duvet here? Something that you use to cover yourself in winter.
Quilt.
Quilt. But it's not quilt actually. It's not like, something like quilt. Replacement of quilt is called duvet. So my duvet is DKNY. Duvet cover is DKNY. So when it comes to linen, everything for me is DKNY. What it means? The resonance. Resonance. That means intense active loyalty. Any linen, these products are called linen, that will come to my home, whether it's a carpet, bathroom mat, bed sheet, or the duvet cover, or the towels, it has to be, even kitchen towel, you know, in kitchen you need towel to clean your stove, etc. That's also DKNY. Why should one waste so much money for cleaning kitchen towel? But that's the loyalty. This is called brand loyalty. So DKNY has a very strong, in the target segment, resonance. Every brand wants this at the end. When you have this, you have the highest brand loyalty. Today, which brand, this is my last question and finished, which brand in the world has the highest brand equity in dollar terms? Brand equity is calculated finally in dollar terms, okay? It's a dollar value. So, which brand in the world has highest brand equity?
Nike.
Maggie? No, my friend.
Nike.
Nike? No.
Coke. Apple.
Who said Coke? Coke. You said Apple. Which Apple? खाने वाला या phone वाला? Phone वाला. He is absolutely correct. The Apple has the highest brand equity in the world. But before the tech brands came to the brand equity high level, for 30 years, there was one brand that was always at the top in brand equity, and huge difference, and that was what Sandeep has said, Coca-Cola, not Coke, Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola had the highest brand. Okay? Fun fact, Mercedes brand of car, when you buy, the value of the car, an experiment was conducted, all the logo of Mercedes was removed, all identification of Mercedes were removed from a particular model, E-Class. And the Mercedes E-Class users who have been using for at least 5 years, drivers, real drivers, as you know, outside India, the people drive the car themselves. In India, people are drivers, but outside India, even presidents, for their personal use, they always use themselves, they drive themselves. So, Mercedes users were invited in this experiment. They were given this car without Mercedes logo, and they were asked how much, they were given a test drive. They said, okay, test drive for 30 minutes. And after that, they were asked, how much money do you pay, are you willing to pay to buy this car? Many questions. How similar it is to your existing Mercedes E-Class car? Is it better than that car? They were never told that Mercedes is inviting you. Is it better than that? It is worse than that? All kinds of questions were asked, and the last question was, how much are you willing to pay for this car? Imagine those guys said 20 times less. So for example, just for your
Only
knowledge,
for the
let's
brand
say,
airplane. Only for the brand airplane.
yes, so for example, if the car was 20 crore, if they have bought the car for 20 crore, they were willing to give only 1 crore. What it means? That 20 times you are paying only for that logo, picture, those brands. This is a fun fact I wanted to share. Thank you very much for listening. Any questions? I'm so sorry for